So in this video, I'm just going to kind of do a quick overview of how did the 14th Amendment kind of get passed and some of the reasons behind why. This is going to move a little fast using another video, so feel free to rewatch, pause, rewind as you need. But as again, and we saw connecting to a lesson from Tuesday, with a lot of these issues of like sharecropping and black codes, in the beginning of Reconstruction with how President Johnson's plan was, kind of just forgiving people in the South and saying, yeah, sure, let's not have black people be involved. Let's just have the people who ran the Confederacy be in charge of rebuilding the South was not working out. And a lot of people, as we were going to see in this video, thought that this kind of just looked like the same South as before the war. And what was the point of fighting this war to end slavery if essentially things are just staying the same? So here is a video going over the 14th Amendment and why it was kind of passed.
So the Republicans in Congress weren't happy that this reconstructed South looked so much like the pre-Civil War South, so they took the lead in Reconstruction after 1867. Radical Republicans felt the war had been fought for equal rights and wanted to see the powers of the national government expanded. Few were as radical as Thaddeus Tommy Lee Jones Stevens, who wanted to take away land from the Southern planters and give it to the former slaves, but rank-and-file Republicans were radical enough to pass the Civil Rights Bill, which defined persons born in the United States as citizens and established nationwide equality before the law regardless of race. Andrew Johnson immediately vetoed the law, claiming that trying to protect the rights of African Americans amounted to discrimination against white people, which so infuriated Republicans that Congress did something it had never done before in all of American history. They overrode the presidential veto with a 2/3 majority, and the Civil Rights Act became law. So then Congress really had its dander up and decided to amend the Constitution with the 14th Amendment, which defines citizenship, guarantees equal protection, and extends the rights in the Bill of Rights to all the states, sort of. The amendment had almost no Democratic support, but it also didn't need any, because there were almost no Democrats in Congress on account of how Congress had refused to seat the representatives from the new all-white governments that Johnson supported. And that's how we got the 14th Amendment, arguably the most important in the whole Constitution.
All right. So again, that video did move a little fast. Feel free to rewatch or rewind it. But again, the 14th Amendment was kind of the radical Republicans' final way of saying, we're going to stand up and make sure that these rights for African Americans are protected and that they can't just be ignored by the racists in the South. And that is how the 14th Amendment came about and why.